This tape has been copyrighted. Any duplication or reproduction without written consent is prohibited.
I want to talk to you a little about leadership because I think that there's no question about it. All of you are leaders. We're all leading, even those of us that are just getting started or whatever. You're leading your family, maybe. You're leading something. You know, leadership is the most sorely lacked thing in this country. And the thing is, the best decision you'll ever make is being a leader. And I tell you, the reason is all the goodies go to the leaders. Whoever decides to lead gets all the goodies in this country. And in Canada, anywhere, in this world, I should say, okay? Whoever decides to lead gets all the goodies. Now, there's a lot of challenges that go with leading. But if you make the decision to lead, not to be a buddy, I'm not interested in being your buddy. I want to be honest with you. If you want to come up and focus on winning and doing all the things, we're going to be buddies. But when you're not there, I'm not interested in being your buddy right now. I'm interested in teaching you what you need to know to become successful. When you become successful, we're going to naturally be buddies because we're going to have so many things in common with each other that we're going to want to associate with each other. That's the way it works, okay? So if you're not doing something, well, he just doesn't pay attention to me anymore. You know, he used to, when I was in the base shop, he really paid attention to me. He doesn't really care. Hector doesn't really care. He just cares about you doing something. That is so BS. It's ridiculous, okay? The thing I care about everybody, but the fact is I've learned many years ago that you can't make people do things. Can't do it. It's impossible. Hell, if I could make people do things, I'd be 20 times bigger than I am right now. I don't know how to make people to do things. I don't have any idea how to. I know how to lead. I know how to set an example. I know how to think properly. I teach it, and I know that there's a certain percentage of people who are going to get it. Actually, I think more people get it than you think, except most people know what it is and they don't want to act on it because it's too difficult or too painful for them, or they don't want to be a little bit controversial. They want everyone to like them. I want you to like me. I want everybody to like me. I want you to respect me way more than I want you to like me, though. 10 times more than I want you to like me. Guaranteed. It requires constant, unrelenting personal growth. That's the one issue. You hear me say that all the time. I'm always talking about the book I've just read. I mean, if you ever come hear me speak at a manager's meeting, an RVP meeting, those of you who've been around me for a long time, every Monday morning when I used to do Monday mornings, right, I had a book. And I was talking about something I just read in the latest book I read. I always had something fresh, always something fresh. Always working on getting better. Somebody mentioned, I think Carmen mentioned, he saw me 3 years ago, and I'm better than I was 3 years ago. That's not an accident. I mean, this improving thing is something that I dedicate my life to. It is part of who I am. I made a decision that improving was part of who I was going to be. To me, it's a game. I want to see by the time I'm 60, 70, 80 years old, I want to see how good I could actually get. I know I'm not anywhere close to realizing the potential that God has given me because God has given us the potential to be as good as He is. And so I know that. And there's so far for me to go, it's ridiculous. And to me, it's a game. I want to see every year how much better I can get over the year before. And as I'm playing this game, my life just keeps getting better. Isn't it wild? Because that's how I treat it, just like a game. Your attitude must be one of servitude. If you're going to lead, you have to see. To me, this weekend is part of my gift to you. It's my serving you. It's my responsibility. I believe it's my responsibility to put on something like this that is of tremendous value. My goal is to have you go, I don't ever want to leave Hector. I want to be part of that. I want to keep coming to the well. I want to keep trying to get better. I want you to feel, I want Rick to go, I can't believe it. He did it again. He's better this year than he was last year. I thought I had him, I don't want him ever to think that he has me, that I'm always one step ahead. I'm always working. I'm always trying to get better. That's kind of the kind of thought process I think you have to be a great leader. Your people are not your people. They belong to their families and are only entrusted to you. You guys are not my people. You belong to your wife and your husband and your children. You don't belong to me. You belong to you. I just got a little piece of your time right now. You've entrusted me with your time. One of the things that's important is that I never waste your time. I don't know if you've noticed, but if I put on a meeting, I guarantee you I will never waste your time. I promise you, you will never come to a Hector Lamarck function and ever waste your time. There's no possible way, because I respect you and your time away from your family too much. If you're going to lend me some of your time that's going to be taken away from your family, I will not waste it. And you better have that kind of attitude. If you're going to call a meeting, that's the thing that drives me bananas about some of the meetings that I attend in this company, is that I go away going, oh my God, I just wasted my time. I don't like that. It drives me nuts, and I won't do that, and you should never do that. You should always be, when you put on a meeting, you better be prepared and have stuff that when they go away, they go, wow, that was unreal, man. That's the kind of attitude a great leader has. Never forget your people are your clients. This is a real simple thing to comprehend. This is a thing that I see that stymies a lot of people's growth in PFS. They don't understand the concept that the people in your organization are your clients. Okay? And the way that you treat clients is the way that you should treat your people. That doesn't mean you shouldn't be... Now, would you fight with a client? Why not? Because they'd never do business with you again. Right? Some of you fight with your people. Why would you do that? Do you understand they can go somewhere else if they don't like the service they're getting here? You haven't figured that out yet? Would you argue with them? Would you argue with your people? Why would you argue with them? See, arguing's easy. It's much more difficult when people are frustrating you to think creatively of how you could approach them and get them to see your way of thinking without arguing. That takes work. That takes creativity. That takes patience. To yell at them doesn't take any thinking. It's reactionary. See, you don't react. When people frustrate me, I go, okay. Okay. How can I get them to see how this behavior is not in their best interest? What can I do to make them see how what they're doing right now is really injuring themselves and their people? How can I phrase it in a way that doesn't offend them, that makes them feel good, but gets the point across? See, that's how I think when I want to talk to somebody. I don't just go, what the hell's wrong with you? I don't do that because it doesn't serve any positive purpose. What it does is it alienates a person from me. Once I do that, our relationship's out the window. Now to recuperate that, to recover in that relationship, it might take me 3 or 4, 5, 6, maybe never, years, okay? And I don't want to do that. It's easier just to step back, take a deep breath, think about it. Maybe there's many times when people have done stuff that were so off the wall that Jan says, why don't you handle this? Why don't you call him? Because if I call him right now, I will blow our relationship. I'll wait till tomorrow. Let me think about it. I want to think out through exactly how I'm going to present my argument to them so that they see what they need to do, and I'm not going to blow it, because if I blow it, it's over with. I could do that in a second, right? But if I think it through, I could probably make this work and make them see it clearly. See, this is how I think when I'm running my organization or I'm dealing with people. This is how you need to be thinking. Would you be condescending? I don't like being condescended towards. You know, you've heard me say the story when I went to that golf week with Golf Digest, and I show up to the Golf Digest thing, right? And I'm right there by the carts, and they have all the bags, and this guy comes up to me, and I'm there, and he goes, could you help me out? Could you get my bag for me and put it on this cart over here? And I went, what? Well, aren't you one of the cart boys? Well, obviously I'm Mexican. All the cart boys are Mexican. I must be a cart boy. What else could I be, right? Tall, blonde, good-looking guy, right? And then I reduced him throughout the week, but it makes you remember. You know, I didn't like the way that felt. Not even a little bit. I would never be condescending to anybody. It's just wrong. It's wrong. Not to a waiter, not to a bellboy, not to Joe Flumeri, not to you, not to anybody. Not to my children, not to my wife, not to anybody. There's no room for that. That doesn't serve you well. Do you ignore people? Don't ignore people. That's disrespectful to ignore people. Rick talks about being on the ignore roll, but that doesn't mean that you're still not nice to them. He doesn't mean that. He means that you don't spend a lot of time with those people. There's a lot of people in my organization that just don't work hard and don't do it. Well, I ignore them. If they call me, I return their calls. I talk to them. They have questions, all that. I don't ignore them. But I'm not going to go out of my way to talk to people that aren't serious about their own life. Right? I mean, you don't do that. I'm not. If you're not serious about your own life here, this is very simple. Like, you have a lot of information here. You could go and take this information, increase your income 100, 200, 300, 400,000 this year just by implementing a lot of the stuff you had here, right? If you don't go do that, I'm probably going to ignore you. Not ignore you in the respect that I'm not going to spend a lot of time with an individual that's not serious about their life. You know, if I go do a meeting for somebody and I talk and I tell them my system, how I do things, and they don't do it, I'm not going back there. A lot of the reasons I don't speak for outside groups is because I know their system's so 180 degrees away from mine. For me to go there would be a complete waste of time. They don't really benefit because the leader's not going to implement my recommendations anyway, so what's the point of me going there? To create disruption in an organization? I'm not going to do that. Don't berate people. Don't berate. You know, do any of you like being berated? How would you ever do that to another human being? Why? What would be your thought process in doing that? What would you think that would benefit you in doing that? You know, unresponsive to. You know, people call you, call them back. Never forget your people are your clients. And some more things. Alienate, yell at. Have I ever yelled at any of you? Is there anybody here that I've yelled at? I almost did one time to Steve Finger and that thing. I probably did it. I got a little bit heated there, but that was, yeah, he deserved it, okay? Just talk disparagingly about, I might say something, this person really needs to work in this area, but you know what? They have these skills, they have this, they have that. I never ever say this person is blah, blah, blah. I always say, you know what? They have a challenge right here. If they fix this or this or this, Rick, they'd be great, They've got this skill going on, but if I do that, but it's always constructed. It's never just like, I can't believe them and that sort of thing, okay? Hold a grudge towards, hey, listen, I've had people that misunderstood me lots of times. I had a challenge just recently with a guy that's a very big part of my organization. And, you go talk to him. Find out what's up. I don't want to have somebody, if Rick ever got upset with me, I'd go, Rick, hey, listen, my intention isn't to cause a risk in our relationship. I love you. I mean, I might have said something inadvertently. I might have made a comment that maybe was misconstrued, but I would never do anything to hurt our relationships. I care too much about you. If I do that, would you please do me the favor, do me the honor of telling me you're not happy with something I said, and I will fix it. I guarantee you. You can be sure I'll fix it. There's no chance I'm going to let our relationship, after what we've been through, go on the wayside. I won't do that because that our relationship's too important. You tell people that. Or do anything that would stop them from doing business with you. All those things, you don't want people to stop doing business with you. Okay, that's the whole idea. You guys do business. Your business that you do, I get paid on. Okay, that's how it works. People need leadership desperately. People are, we've got, the Ottos and the Fletchers came out here. They invested $4,000 to come spend a day with Jan and I. Mark Marchesani, right, who's doing well. He come out here on his own dime, and he's here, Richie, on his birthday, Richie Falcone, he's not part of it. He came here because he thought he could get something. Maybe he's not getting it where he's at right now. There's a lot of other people that are from out, not in my hierarchy, right? You know why? Because people are desperate for leadership. They're desperate for leadership. Your decision to be a leader is going to benefit so many people. Because people need it desperately. The personal level of belief and faith makes yours vital. See, their personal level of belief and faith, because most people's level of belief and faith is so low, so unfortunate, so sad how humans don't see themselves as being great. And as a result of that, your belief and your faith is critical to their success. There was a point when Mark and Stacia Cox were just getting started in the business when their belief level that they could make $25,000, $30,000 a month was nowhere in sight. But it was the younger's faith and belief that made it possible for them to keep continuing and growing. Now they don't need it to the same extent. They still need the encouragement. You don't need it nearly like you did that first year, 2 or 3, right? It changes. But if they didn't provide that, they wouldn't be here. That everyone, your people need that. It's critical. Their lack of vision due to their view from the weeds makes your vision critical. See, most people in your organization are in the weeds right now, okay? And some of you are at different levels of the hill, you know? And as you move up, they need your vision. They need you to say, hey, listen, man, it's awesome over here. I know you can't see it. The weeds are right there. They're blocking your view. But I'm telling you, you do the work. You chop through those things. You get up here. I'm telling you, when you see the view, oh, it's going to be incredible. You're going to love it, man. We're going to have so much fun. It's going to, right? They need you to constantly be telling them that all the time because their view is not so good. Their fear of the unknown makes your courage indispensable. See, people are afraid of the unknown. The reason people don't want to make calls is because they don't know how the call's going to go. And because they are not sure how the call's going to go, there's fear. The reason you don't prospect people and you see somebody and you go, I should talk to them, but you don't know if they're going to say, what the hell are you talking to me for? Or they're going to say, hey, thanks, yeah, I really appreciate it. I'm looking for something. You don't know, right? It's unknown, right? So that's what creates the fear. The reason people are anxious about quitting their job and going full-time is because it's unknown whether they can actually, they don't have a belief, it's unknown whether they can actually accomplish and make money on a regular basis, so the fear kind of dictates their actions. See, so your courage, you need to let them borrow your courage. That's what you need to do with people. Their limited experience makes yours priceless. See, like some of the stuff we're all doing, everybody that came up and spoke has a lot of experience, right? These things you saw this weekend are not theory. These are the things that the people are doing to have the success. So our people have limited experience, so your experience is priceless and you need to pass it on. Just like if you had a young son or a young daughter, right? Your experience of how to live your life and what should be done is priceless to that child. It could help them have a successful life or have them have a disastrous life. If you don't pass on that experience, it's not enough just to be an example. It's not enough. Just for me to be an example is only part of the equation. I also must articulate and explain to you in detail what it is I do. Like that's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to explain to you in detail exactly how I think and how I've gotten here. If you do these things, you will have similar, possibly better results. Don't be overwhelmed. You'll grow into your leadership. A lot of you are kind of like afraid of being a leader because you don't know if you can handle it. You're afraid, well, if I get all these people going, they're depending on me, and I don't know if I'm ready for that. And right? Anybody ever think like that? Yeah, a lot of you do. I know you do. I thought like that. Man, am I going to be able to do this? You know what I found out? You don't need to. You'll grow into it. You're not going to get anything presented to you that you're not going to be able to handle. Not that it's not going to be challenging and frustrating and scary. It's going to be all those things. But you can always handle it. So don't be afraid of succeeding. See, a lot of you are really afraid of succeeding. You're afraid of doing it all out, balls to the walls, cutting all strings, really focusing, giving it all your attention. The reason is because a lot of people think, well, if I do 50, then my wife's going to expect me to do 50 the next month. She's going to expect me to do all this thing. All my team is going to see me doing well. And then if I don't do well, they're going to think I'm a loser. I better just stay safe down here and not do too well because then everybody's going to expect me to do well. Anybody ever think, you don't have to raise your hand, but anybody ever think that? Huh? Yeah, absolutely, right? It's part of the deal, though, okay? The thing, to continue to be successful only requires consistency. It's all you have to commit to. If you are consistent, you will be successful. If you want to maintain your weight, for example, okay, that's a big issue with me, okay? I'm always working hard to do that, right? All I do is consistently eat well. Not always, not every single time, but pretty much on a consistent basis, I manage my food intake pretty well, okay? Or whatever, right? But I'm real consistent. I'm consistent in my approach and everything. I'm not wild. I've never done that 90-day blitz. If you do a 90-day blitz, I've never done that. I've never said, Rick, let's push this month. I've never said, let's push. I've never, ever in my career done that. My philosophy is every month I'm going to do the things I need to do. I'm going to be consistent. Over time, I'll blow by everybody because everybody goes in spurts and sits back and spurges. And that's the thing that, Howards. The Howards came from an organization that spurted and came back and spurted and came back. And man, that's bad. if you drive a car and you slam on the gas, smash the gas, and then you slam on the brakes and then you slam on the gas, you're going to ruin that car pretty quick, right? It's not good for the car to be slamming and stopping. And plus, you burn out your people. It's better to say, look, every one of us, let's focus on getting better every month. Let's really try to improve. Let's really try to get better on a consistent basis. And if we can grow, that's the thing I learned, thank God, and so did Rick from we were in the jewelry business. All we did, I would come into my office, the little office I had, at that time it was William Pitt Jewelers. The very first thing I did is I got my 3-ring binder. I looked at the date. Today is what is the date today? The 16th. It's the 16th. I'd look at that. What did we do on the 16th of March in 1997? Oh, we did $3,000. Okay, then we need to do $3,600 a day. That's all I focused on. The whole day. I made it, it's real simple, right? I did it every day. And so what happened, and sometimes we do 36, sometimes we do 4,000, sometimes we do 3,200, and over the month, at average out, we'd probably grow around 20%. That was the goal, okay? That was my goal, to grow 20%. And I was just worked on being consistent. I didn't try to do all the business in one day, or make my year in 1 month. See? I was consistent. That's what you need to be. If you're consistent, you don't have to worry about being successful. You will be successful. Don't be afraid of people depending on you too much. See, a lot of times you start thinking, well, man, if I start being a leader, everybody's going to depend on me. Listen, I am concerned with you being successful, but I learned a long time ago, I give you complete responsibility for your success, okay? I'm not going to be responsible for your success. I'm going to be very responsible in making sure you have the tools, the example. I'm going to teach you all of this. But in the final analysis, Mark, you are going to be responsible for Mark. If you become successful, it's going to be because of the work you did, not the work that I did, but the work that you did. Okay? A lot of times people say, well, man, if it wasn't for Hector, I'm so successful. Who said this recently? Somebody was saying, I owe most of my success to Hector. That's not true, okay? You owe all the success that you have is because you did the work. Right? I mean, the youngers, Rick, a lot of people have benefited from some of the things that I've taught, but I didn't do the work. I didn't make the 400,000 million calls. I didn't go on those appointments. I didn't do the op night training meetings for him. I didn't do those things for him. You did it. Now, I may have helped with the knowledge and some things, some technique or some theories or whatever, okay? But the people do the work, and I let you be responsible. If you fail, you fail. I don't fail for you. You fail, okay? If you succeed, you succeed. I'm not ever going to take credit for your success. I never said, well, he wouldn't be anything without me. That's bull, okay? Because then if I do that, then I have to take credit for all the people that have failed in my organization. And there's a bunch of those, way more than have succeeded, okay? And I'm not taking credit for them either. Because we're not supposed to, but Rick, we're supposed to be a good example. We're supposed to do all the right things. And my goal is just to have an environment that takes every excuse. If you go away from here and you go, you know what, the problem with Lamarck, he just doesn't give us enough to help us with our business. You say that, I will slap you, okay? There is no possible way that happens. You go away from here, you got what you need. And if you don't have all what you need, then get off your rear and go find what you need. Go find it. Nobody came to me, knocked on my door, hey, Hector, this is how you do everything, this is how you run your business. Nobody. Folks, I have not had a mentor in PFS. None. I never went to anybody. I never saw anybody that I thought was doing it right. I kind of made everything up on my own, reading stuff I read and stuff like that, right, Rick? I never went to anybody. First time I went to Boca, we were sales leaders. We go to Boca. We didn't know anything. That month, in October, I wrote 24 personal sales. The next month, I wrote 37 personal sales, and that's how I got to Boca as a sales leader. I go there, and I start asking all these people, which I won't name names, but they were all doing really, really well, making like $1 million or around there. And I started asking them, so how did you do it? And they'd go, well, you just do it. You just stay focused and you just do it. Yeah, but what was your system? Well, you just do it. You just stay focused and you just do it. You just, give 3 to 3 to recruit 3, and blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, but yeah, I know, but how do you do it? How did you do it? I couldn't get anybody to explain to me how they did it. And I go to Jen, these people don't have any idea how they did it. We are going to be so big. Oh my God, it's unbelievable. That's what I thought. That was my perception of PFS. You ask people, how'd you do it? You get some weird explanations, right? But no system. I could tell you how I did it. If you sit down with me, right, Keith Otto? Right, Scott Fletcher? But I tell you how I did it? Exactly how I did it. It's clear. Because I know what I did to make it happen. I thought it all through. Most people didn't do that. My experience. As a leader, your job is to be an example, not a guarantee of success. That's it. Okay, there's no guarantees here. There are none. As a leader, you must be fiscally responsible. We will cover that in detail. Morally responsible. Have integrity. Just be a person of your word. It's that simple. We've been building this house of ours for 2.5 years. To get somebody to do what they're supposed to do is nearly impossible in this world. Have you met Mark and so you know what I'm talking about? It's like almost, Jan, every day, because she's dealing with all kinds of issues all the time. Recently she's been working on all our living trust and all that stuff, getting our insurance trust, redone, and lots of things. Our kids are just turned, they're now of age, now they're 18 and over, so we had to make a bunch of changes and all that. It couldn't get anybody to do what they're supposed to do. Oh yeah, we'll do this, and she has to follow up 3 or 4 or 5, 6, 7 times to get anything done. That is our world. That is the world we live in. So if you want to have a great business, just simply do what you say you're going to do. It's that simple. Have character. You know what that means, right? And I don't mean be perfect. No one's perfect. We are so far from, I'm far from being, Jan's far, we have issues and arguments and stuff like that, and, I don't do everything correctly. I just work at it all the time, okay? No one does it perfect. I don't want you to go through this, well, I've got to be perfect. You do not have to be perfect. You need to be working towards getting better. There is not a point in this lifetime, on this earth, in this place, that you are ever going to be perfect at anything you do. It's not possible, okay? Not here. Other place it will be, but not here. So don't work towards having it be as good as it can be, but don't get whacked out if it's not perfect. You're going to be frustrated all the time with everybody if you want everybody to do everything perfectly. It's not going to happen. That's why I even think about that happening. We're all a work in progress. All of us are a work in progress. Every one of us is. We're at different levels of development. We all have different frames of references. My frame of reference is greater than yours because I have more experience. I have dealt with more people than you. I have been training salespeople since 1979. I have been training people, leading people, trying to get people to learn, to grow, to teach them stuff for 19 straight years. And I haven't been doing it passively. I've been doing it aggressively. And I'm still a work in progress. That's what we are, and we always will be. You know why? Because you could always be a better parent. You could always be a better husband or wife. You could always be a better, leader. You could always be a better friend. You could always be a better. There's no place where you go, I've arrived. I'm the best parent. I'm the best whatever that I could be. Because you're never going to get there. It's not possible. There's always room for improvement. We're all a work in progress. Don't be feeling bad about yourself because you're not where you want to be. Simply start working to simply change your work habits. Simply change your thought process to get to where you want to be. Mistakes are part of the process. You're going to constantly make mistakes. Hey, did we have a picture-perfect meeting? No, we had a problem with the sound on the video yesterday. We had some issues. We had a couple of times some things messed up here, right? That was some mistakes we made. Every time when I talk to Rob after, we go, Rob, okay, this one was better than the last one. Okay, we need to make sure that this, next time, he said this to me, come up to next time I promise you we'll have everything geared up. We won't make that mistake. And the next one we'll probably have some other mistake. Then we'll have to fix that. And maybe someday we'll get to the point where we have one flawless meeting. Like when you're a coach of a football team or a basketball team, and you just want one of those games where you make no mistakes and everything goes right and you score on every possession and all that, which never is going to happen. But that's the goal of every coach, is to have it where it's just like, man, it was awesome. We were just so on. Hey, if we never get there, that's okay. We're going to work at getting there, though. See, that's what we're going to do. We're going to work at getting there. And see, to me, that's part of the fun, right? But don't keep repeating the same ones, okay, over and over. If you're making mistakes, take notes. Say, this was a mistake. We need to fix that. He comes up to me, Mark comes up to me last night, and he says, hey, you know what? You said you wanted to get recruiting going, and you didn't do any recognition. Boop, mistake. Took a note. Next time, make sure we will do that. I announced it publicly. I made a mistake there. That we won't make that mistake again. That's done. It's fixed. Okay, great. I don't feel like a goof. I just went, hey, it was an oversight. That doesn't make me a bad leader or a bad person. I blew that, so what? No big deal. We'll fix it. Move on, right? That's the kind of attitude. Excuses can forevermore no longer be part of who you are if you're going to be a leader of men and women. No more. None. I don't want to hear any excuses. Well, we had this happen. Business doesn't care. Business doesn't care if you had a tough night, you didn't sleep last night, or you had to do this, you had to do that, or you had a headache, or doesn't care. You don't care if my back's killing me right now, or I have a migraine headache, or you could care less. You want to make sure you get something you can take home and work, right? You don't care about that. Not that I have that, but I wouldn't care. You might say you do, oh, that's too bad. Then you go off and you go get caught up in your own little problems, that you have going on in your life, all right? You might care to make it look good on the surface, but the fact is you don't. That's not a bad thing. It's just you're human. You got your own issues to deal with. You don't need to worry about mine. And your people don't need to worry about yours. Stop making excuses. Start looking for solutions to those issues. That's all you got to do. No one expects you to be perfect, okay? I certainly do not. When you have momentum, your people need you to pick up the pace. One of the things I learned that was really helpful to me, that thank God, this made me millions of dollars. When I was in the jewelry business, I know Rick can vouch for this, the thing in that business is there are time frames when the business is there. Like October to December, there is tons of business, okay? And so what happens during those times, as it gets closer to Christmas, you work every hour the store's open. You are on it. You take a break for 15 minutes, go get something to eat, shove it in your mouth, get back out on the floor, and you get business done because you know there's just a little window of opportunity, and you have to get, while the getting's good, and be totally 100% focused on getting the job done right there, because that makes kind of your year. And if you don't take advantage of that time, you blow it. So I came in when that attitude, when I saw that we had momentum going and it started going good, like when I was getting going and I hired Rick and I hired Gary McCrum, all on the same time period, Rick Susie, Gary McCrumman, George Verdugo, Dennis Lang, Todd Mendel, Steve Finger, a bunch of people, all right, remember that, all around the same time, man. I had to go and I promoted Rick to RVP and he started doing really well and he created some momentum. I didn't go, oh, I got a great RVP now. I put it into overdrive when that started happening. I worked like a friggin' maniac. And I parlayed that excitement, that momentum into an explosion. Right, Rick? I mean, most people would have said, I got a winner on my hands, I could relax. Not me. See, like right now, hey, Andershak, you have it going right now. You have momentum. You could take this to the moon right now. The rolls right now, you got it moving right now. You could turn this into $2-3 million a year in income, like nothing flat. John Keller, you have it going right now. You could take this, totally big time right now. There's a bunch of you, Howard, you got it moving right now. This is a time where you could really step it up. I mean, the Cox just has a record month. You could take this, all over the top. Ranella, you finally figured it out. You got Mona, had your best month in your hierarchy. You got it going right now. This is not the time to say, oh, I got it going. I finally got it going. This is a time to step it up and get while the getting's good, create so much synergy, so much excitement, so much momentum that it gets out of whack, that your business develops a life of its own and it's moving in spite of you. This is your chance to do that. That's what I did. That's what Jan and I did when we got it moving. We worked harder. We didn't let up. I don't see many people doing that. Never forget, everybody wants to be somebody. The difference between everybody, all of you, man, how many of you are dying because you're not on the program this weekend? See, I mean, I know that. There's some of you might be pissed off at me looking at the numbers. How come I didn't speak? Hey, you know what? Make it so that I don't have any choice to make you speak. That you're doing so damn much business that I can't leave you off. See, that's the attitude I take. Huh. They ignored me? We'll see. Right? Hey, that happened to me. I took a situation in 1988. We talked about that at the convention in New Orleans, right? That year, the top 20 RVPs and SVPs and NSDs, actually 10 in each category, I had like 15 of the top in every category. I had the most income. Number one in every category. I had like 5 or 6 people in each category. And then the MVP was not me that year. It was Jimmy Meyer. God, I love Jimmy. It's nothing to do with Jimmy because Jimmy had nothing to do with it, right? And then everybody, I mean, it was so obvious I should have been the SVP. It was just completely, it was ridiculous, actually. And as soon as they announced it, everybody looks at me and goes, and I just went, I don't know, right? I mean, I don't know what happened. See, some of you would have been devastated by that. Some of you would have said, this is not fair. This is not a real company. They don't really mean what they say when, if you just do the work, you get it. This is bull, and you would have got all dejected and disillusioned. It's not fair and all that. That's how some of you would have reacted. I just went, all right. I get it. I'm going to have to make this so ridiculous that they cannot ignore me. I'm going to get so busy. I'm going to get so whacked. I'm going to get my people totally behind me. We're going to get this thing rocking and rolling. And you know what? They're not going to know what hit them. And that put a resolve in Jan and I like you cannot believe, man. And we got busy, and we did it. And now there's no, they're doing everything we're telling them to do now. That was just 8 years, that was just 10 short years ago. Totally turned it around. They're all the way over to our way of doing things now. If you haven't noticed that, you're blind, okay? That's what they're doing right now, okay? So, and the difference is I didn't want to be somebody. Like Rick said about the need. I need to be somebody. It's really important to me. I don't know. I told Keith earlier, I don't know why I'm like like Art said, that saying, he says, I don't know why I'm like I am, but my butt's always burning. Hey, man, I relate to that like I don't even know how to tell you. I want to be somebody so bad it's ridiculous. Maybe that's not good. I don't know. Maybe it's sick. But I want it so much more than you do, it's ridiculous. There's not one of you in this room that wants it even a tenth as much as I do. You think you do, but you don't. Because you'll get tired. You get frustrated. Ain't nothing going to stop me. There's nothing. Because my need is too great. And you might say, well, I'll show you, Hector. I want it more than you. We'll see. We'll see. Because it's I don't know what it ain't about the money for me. I know that. It's obvious it ain't about the money. I already made a bunch of money, right? Something else. And you gotta be there, right? See, aren't some of you glad I did? I need to be somebody? Huh? Because if I didn't, I wouldn't be doing stuff like this, right? See, your needing to be somebody is good for people. It doesn't even really matter what your intentions are either. It doesn't matter if all you want is to make bazillions of dollars and get your face on the cover of Time magazine and have all the toys. Even if that's your motivation, it doesn't matter because your need requires you to service people and help people, and they will still benefit regardless of what your intentions are. Now, if your intentions are honorable, all the better. Great. But it doesn't really matter. Greed is good. It is. Aren't you glad? Hey, a lot of people are glad that Bill Gates is a motivated maniac. How many millionaires have come out of that situation, out of that company, and how many people that are in the company that bought the stock that became millionaires, and how many people that market that service that company from the shrink wrap to the packaging to the advertising to the blah blah blah, right? You name it, have been affected incredibly positively. All the ancillary different products that have spun off that people become wealthy from a guy needing to be somebody. Huh? See, even if he didn't give a dime away, he has created so much more value in this world. Perfect example is him and Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa is one of the greatest human beings. She's a saint. She's a saint. One of the greatest human beings ever. She hasn't has nearly as big of an effect on mankind as Bill Gates. And you might think of it from a spiritual side, of course. There's no question that she had more impact. And obviously that's probably more important. But the fact is no one has affected more people in a positive way than Bill Gates. And so it's not bad for you to want to be successful is what I'm trying to get to you, okay? Some of you are like, I don't know if I make a lot of money, I'm not a good person. You bought into that BS. It's not true, okay? Well, your people will be glad also. See, I need for my kids, Dak and Janae, to believe that I'm like incredibly special. I don't know about you, how you want your kids to think about you, but for me, I need that. See, I need for my parents to believe that they did an incredible job rearing me. I want my parents to think every day, we did a great job with Hector. Look what he's done with his life. Look how many people he's helped. Look what he's doing. Look at the kind of person he's become. That's important to me. I need for my contemporaries, you, to respect. I need it. I'm out there. I need you to like me and respect me, admire me. That's important to me. I don't know if it's important to you, but it is important to me. I need Jan. I need Jan to think I'm the end all for her, and there couldn't be anybody that's more perfect for her than me. I mean that. I need that. It's important to me. I don't want her to ever think that I'm not the perfect person for her. But ultimately, I need for God to be certain that when He created me, I understood and acted on the fact that He created me in His image. Because He did. He said it. And you can't be a person of faith and not believe that. And if you really have faith and you believe, then how could you not act on it? So I work at believing that any and all things are possible. He said it. So you can't be a person of faith and not believe that. You can't. You're a hypocrite. You're not. It's not right. That I was created to help men and women. There's no question all of us were created for that reason. That failing is an impossibility with Him. It's not even possible to fail. It's not possible. He says it's impossible to fail. How great of a guarantee is that? That it's impossible. So when you know it's impossible, how could you ever be depressed? How could you ever be down? How? Only when you lack belief and faith. That our future is certain. Our future is certain. It is. Said it. I believe it. It's certain. That all things will work out with attention to them. And it's not by themselves, but everything works out when you pay attention to it. That we have an unlimited capacity to learn, experience, enjoy, and love. Unlimited. You can't have too much fun. You can't have too much love. You can't have too many great experiences. You can't learn too much. It's unlimited. It's infinite. That we should be grateful in advance for everything. And that everything that we desire is already there. It's already there. Isn't it amazing when you change your thought process, what you were looking for all of a sudden is there? You need merely to give thanks. That's all you have to do. To believe anything else is to not believe. To believe anything else, you guys, is not to believe. And the alternative of not believing is not acceptable. It's not acceptable. So when I believe that this place was created for a purpose, that we are special, that we are, you say this is a company of destiny? I believe that. I believe in more strongly that this hierarchy is a hierarchy of destiny. Totally believe that. I expect amazing things to happen the next year, 2, 5, 10. I can't wait to get back together in 5 years from now or 10 years from now and look back on what we did the last 10 years, the lives we affected, what we did with our families, how our kids turned out. I mean, I'm just, one of the greatest things for Jan and I is our kids are now grown up. They're 18 and 19 years old. And Dak just finished his first quarter. Actually, he's finished his second quarter. They're doing finals right now. In his first quarter, he got 2 A's and 2 A pluses, got a 4.0 in his first, living on his own by himself, totally disciplined. He was telling me the other day, he has this one philosophy class, and there's 300, like it's a lecture class, like there's 300 students in the class, and he got a 96 on his exam, and the median score in the class was less than 50%. Just the other day. And I said, Dak, why do you think that happened like that? I mean, what's the difference? He said, well, Dad, if you read the assigned material, and then you go to the class, the professor lectures on exactly what he told you to read about, so you have 2 opportunities to assimilate the information, and then if you're not quite clear on it, then he makes it available. He has office hours. You can go and see him personally or go see one of his assistants and get clear on everything. So if you just do that, you know everything. And so that's what I do. But nobody else does that. So I said, Dak, you don't understand how successful you're going to be. You have already developed the habits, the discipline, everything you need to do. It's not a matter of if you're going to, it's how successful and what you choose to do. You already have eliminated about 98, 99% of all the competition right there just by doing what you're supposed to do. And if we all just did what we were supposed to do, our lives would be exactly how we wanted them to be. And I hope you all decide to do that. Hey, thank you so much. I love you guys. Drive home safely, okay?